So, if you're in revenue operations, do you ever feel like you're stuck in a support role? Just constantly reacting to one request after another? Well, what if you could completely transform your job into a strategic leadership engine for your whole company? Okay, let's dive into this blueprint for turning RevOps into a true revenue leader.
This quote just nails it, right? It gets right to the heart of the matter. The absolute best in the business. They aren't just managing the CRM or pulling reports. Nope, they're operating at a strategic level, and they're influencing the entire go-to-market motion. And honestly, that's the goal we're going to unpack today.
This is a super common frustration. It's this identity crisis that so many people in RevOps face. Are you the person who just fixes Salesforce fields and closes out tickets? Or are you a business leader who is actively driving revenue strategy? The perception so often defaults to the first one, but we are going to map out exactly how to shift it decisively to the second. So, how do we actually make that leap from being seen as a task executor to a strategic operator? I'll tell you what, it's not about buying a new piece of software. It all starts with 5 fundamental shifts in your mindset. The first shift, well, it's arguably the most powerful one. And it might sound a little counterintuitive at first, but it all comes down to mastering a simple 2-letter word: no. This one change triggers a huge transformation. When you stop being just an order taker and you start saying no to all those low-impact requests, you're not being difficult. You're actually protecting the company's focus and its resources. And trust me, executives notice this. They stop seeing you as a task executor, and they start seeing you as an operator who really understands leverage and trade-offs. And that is when you get pulled into the big strategic conversations. All right, let's talk about shift number 2. This one is all about communication. It's about changing the very language you use and where you focus your conversations to totally shift how you're perceived. So here's the deal. Stop framing your work around the tools and start framing it around the business outcomes. Don't talk about system workflows, talk about pipeline health. Don't talk about tech stack integrations, talk about deal velocity and win rates. Seriously, when you start speaking the language that executives use to run the business, you reposition yourself from being a tech admin to a strategic partner who is absolutely essential for leadership. Mindset shift number 3. This one's kind of like time travel. Or maybe more accurately, it's about moving from always looking in the rearview mirror to looking out the front windshield. See, lagging indicators, like last quarter's results, they only tell you what's already happened. It's too late to change them. But leading indicators, things like pipeline creation, conversion rates, and deal velocity, they tell you what's likely to happen. And this forward-looking posture, it turns RevOps into an early warning system for the business. When you're the one providing those proactive insights that can literally save a quarter, you have more than earned your seat at the strategy table.
Okay, on to number 4. This moves beyond just a mindset into a core skill. A skill that truly separates the great RevOps leaders from the good ones. The ability to tell stories with data.
Look, anyone can present a dashboard full of numbers, but a strategic operator, they translate that raw data into a compelling story that actually drives executive decisions. Can you use the data to not just show the pipeline is at risk, but to diagnose why? Can you build a data-driven case for more headcount, or maybe for a complete rethink of your ideal customer profile? Helping executives navigate these critical moments, that's how you really advance.
And that brings us to our 5th and final mindset shift, which is all about ruthless focus.
The best operators, they resist the urge to do it all. They know that real meaningful impact doesn't come from checking off 20 small tasks. No way. It comes from identifying the 1, 2, or maybe 3 big initiatives that have the most leverage, and then pouring all their energy into making those succeed. This focus is what shifts you from being just a part of revenue reporting to being a core part of strategic revenue planning. And this quote, man, it just sums it all up perfectly. Goodwill from small tasks is important, sure, it keeps the machine running. But real career momentum, the kind that gets you promoted and builds a reputation as a major impact player, that comes from the big strategic wins. Okay, so we've got the mindsets down. That's great. But what do you actually do, like tomorrow morning? Let's turn all this theory into action with a clear, tangible playbook. Here are your first 3 high-impact moves. First, drive goal alignment, because without a shared destination, every single project is just a distraction. Second, Partner up with sales to flush the pipeline. This builds immediate trust by grounding your forecast in reality. And third, align on the top go-to-market plays to execute now. These 3 actions are designed to create clarity, credibility, and focus right out of the gate.
Now, let's zoom out for a second. These actions aren't just about improving your current role. They're about positioning yourself for the future of RevOps itself, which, by the way, is splitting into 2 very different camps.
Let's start with data. The old way, the out, is that endless struggle of trying to get sellers to manually enter their data. It's slow, it's painful, and it's often flat out wrong. The future, the in, is where passive data capture is the default. Systems automatically log the emails, the calls, the meetings, creating a foundation of truth for your entire GTM team. Next up, let's talk about AI. The old way is AI that's basically just a weather report. It tells you it's raining. The new way is AI that actually hands you an umbrella. It's an AI-first operating environment where AI doesn't just narrate a dashboard, it actively helps sellers and leaders make better, faster decisions. It's prescriptive, not just descriptive. Huge difference. And all of this, it leads to the biggest shift of all. The outdated view reduces RevOps to an administrative cost center. The future sees RevOps for what it truly can be, an economic function with end-to-end ownership of the go-to-market strategy. A revenue driver, not a cost center. That's the game changer. So as we bring this all together, all these individual shifts are really leading to one ultimate transformation in your identity and in your entire function. This is the entire journey, right here. It's moving from revenue reporting, which is always looking backward, to revenue planning, which is strategic and always looking forward. You're no longer just explaining what happened last quarter, you are a key architect in designing what's gonna happen next quarter. And listen, if you've been struggling with any of this, it's so important to hear this. The issue often isn't you. It's that so many RevOps teams are set up with way too many tools, not nearly enough budget, and just a lack of clear strategic direction. This blueprint, this is your path to finally gaining that clarity, that leverage, and that impact. So, I'll leave you with this question. It's the fundamental choice facing everyone in this field. Will you continue to be a reporter of past events, or will you step up and become a strategic planner who helps architect the future of your company's revenue? The choice is yours.